Everyone, I want to thank you and welcome everyone that's here that came out on this dreary, snowy day. We're happy to be in school. This is our second parent coffee of the year for Student Services. My name is Tim Luff. I'm the Assistant Superintendent of Student Services and very happy to be able to present with our team here from the district and from Lilja today. I would like to start by making sure everyone introduces themselves, so I'm going to start over here.
Hi, I'm Dr. Marsha. I'm the school psychologist at Lilja.
I'm Emmy Hopkins. I'm a Learning Center teacher at Lilja.
I'm Jennifer Kobe, and I'm a Learning Center teacher at Lilja.
I'm Sheetal Parikh, and I'm a Learning Center teacher here at Lilja.
Hello, I'm Paul Pietro, Assistant Director of Student Services.
Hi, Laura Brand, Evaluation Team Leader, grades 5, 6, and 7.
Laura Ives, I'm the Assistant Director of Student Services for the middle school level.
Mary Beth Kincaid, Proud Principal of Native Preschool.
Jennifer Brayman Parikh, Evaluation Team Leader for grades 8 and 9.
Hi, Navarre McKellian, Evaluation Team Leader for Johnson, Lilja, and Memorial Schools.
Hi, I'm Barbara Molinari Bates. I'm the Evaluation Team Leader at Natikai.
And I'm Ann Carruthers. I'm the principal here at Lilja.
Thank you all very, very much. As our presentation topic today is very dear to all of our hearts, it's actually inclusive strategies. Our belief is that every child, no matter what disability, are able to be educated in their classrooms with their general education peers to the extent possible. We always have to ensure that our kids are with their peers, they're part of their community, and that is our primary focus in native schools before anything else. So to present to you what that looks like today, Paul Tagliapetra and Navarre McKellian will be presenting on inclusion strategies for native public schools. So I'm going to hand it over to them, and thank you.
So one of the first things we think about when we talk about inclusion is how we're going to adapt the classroom and to make those accommodations for students in the general education classroom. So adapting the classroom can include inclusive strategies such as changing certain structures in the classroom to allow extra time on assignments. So moving away from a child has this amount of time or doing a timed math test to allowing that child the time that they need to process the entire the assessment without having to worry about being stopped in the middle. Or making accommodations to the classroom to meet the social and emotional needs of that student to make them feel more confident and secure.
I think just on top of that, sure, social emotional needs, I think it's really important for families to know that social emotional needs are a primary focus for the district this year, as we've talked about, and that's really going to be included in our special education focus this year as well, to ensure every student, regardless of situation, has the strategies they need to become strong learners, which includes that emotional side of things.
Definitely, and for a teacher to do that, to make the actual classroom culture feel positive and inclusive, they're thinking of almost using, not almost, but using a universal design approach to it of, say, if one child needs, say, headphones because to help them concentrate, allowing all students in that classroom to have that accommodation, or having, say, an OT come in and look at seating for students and adding their tape or different options for seating, but not just for one student, and not putting a spotlight on that student, but allowing the entire classroom to utilize those accommodations and meet every child's needs.
So one of the things that we really try to consider as we think about inclusion strategies is the strengths of each student, right? So every student who has, whether it's a disability or not, has strengths. And so we think about using that child's strengths to include them to the best of their ability. So when Paul was talking about students working together, I'm thinking of students who may have trouble writing, but their verbal skills are really strong. And so we think about students talking to each other first and doing a turn and talk, it's called, to say, hey, let's talk about this, and then giving that support child to get it in writing. So thinking about different ways kids are strong and using those strengths to support them by using those instructional strategies that really support their strengths.
Thank you. So, First off, one of the key components of making this successful is collaboration among teachers. So for me, when I think of a high-functioning school system and classroom, I think one of the first things that comes to my mind that needs to happen is for teachers to collaborate with each other, for the discussion to be having between the entire team and making sure that everyone feels supported and has that support for them, not just the student but also the teachers. Using consultation time effectively to help identify challenging activities for a student, or say when a student is having more difficulty, that collaboration helps to break down and problem solve through it to help find strategies and accommodations that help. So getting back to our presentation, one of the ideas of accommodating accommodating a service for a child is, say, flex time for push-in for delivery of emotional support. So, or if you think about a child that may need a sensory break, that doesn't happen on Tuesday at 9:30 every week. That could happen when that child needs that actual support. So you have to be more flexible with that time and providing that opportunity for that child to access that accommodation.
Can I just touch base on collaboration a little bit? I think we heard a little bit at the elementary level, but as you move up the levels, the middle school and the high school, where you see that a lot of the time is in co-teaching, and the teachers, the general ed teachers and the special ed teacher are collaborating on how they develop the instruction, how they implement that instruction, and so you'll see that actually at the elementary level as well. Lilja, for example, had one of the best co-teaching classes that I've seen in my time last year. But the middle school and high school, we have many more co-teaching sections, and so that collaboration is key to ensuring that all kids are included in the general ed classroom.
So Navarre and I asked the team out here at Lilja to provide some examples of accommodations that they've developed together through collaboration, and I'm just going to go through them real quickly. So first one, Inclusion P for students with the physical therapist, having an opportunity to work with kids in the moment and provide a breakdown and or strategies during PE class. So think about actually generalizing the learned skills that are done during the therapy session. So providing that in the moment access to a genuine activity, as opposed to doing it in a separate class where they would learn it in a small space and then apply it in the generalized PE classroom. Letting students ask questions about the talkers during free time, say such as snack. Students said jokes on talker, which is a fun way for the other students to interact with a student who uses a voice output device. So helping our child feel more comfortable in the classroom by making something that is different become more natural, more understood by the entire classroom.
And one of the comments about that is, when thinking about all kinds of students and some students who need that voice output device and working with our speech pathologist to include information on these devices that are similar to what other first graders or kindergartners are talking about. Not just the academic language on their talkers, but also thinking about, as that said, the jokes or the funny words or the things that will help them be more of a peer when they're included for snack and have that different kind of language to be part of those social opportunities.
Include special education teacher on the general education teacher's monthly parent blast. So allowing the special education teacher to know what's going on and what will be going on in the general education classroom to help differentiate as necessary. So really connecting the special education side to the actual classroom and making sure that if we're going to be discussing a certain topic in the classroom, that the whole team knows it and the whole team can provide help and input on how to help accommodate a student in the class to be able to access that topic. And then identifying successful accommodations, use pull-up services and finding ways for teachers to use them with the whole class. This goes to that universal design approach again, where we don't want to just put the spotlight on one child that they're using this accommodation when all the students could probably benefit from that accommodation. When thinking about from an IEP process too, many things can happen in the classroom or are happening in the classroom because of that teacher planning and putting together ideas and knowing their student, all of their students, that it doesn't then need to be in the IEP. What should be in the IEP are those really core required accommodations that ensure that that child is accessing the curriculum and accessing their day at school. Inclusion during whole class lesson, read alouds. The arrived meeting area allows for the student to listen to a story with peers and discuss the story. And being included in the turn talk, that's what Navarre was speaking about before. And I just wanted to, when I talk about universal design, just talk really briefly about the 7 principles that go into that. And if we look at this slide, we have it broken down fairly succinctly. I'm talking about equitable use, providing same means of use for all users. So that's that idea of not, if we're going to have stand-up desks, it shouldn't just be for one student, it should be for the whole class, then everybody should be able to access that. Flexibility in use, provide choice of methods, simple and intuitive, eliminate unnecessary complexity, arrange information consistent with its importance.
Can I just quickly add to this part? So this is really our voice and choice type thing, right? So we want kids to have an understanding of a voice in what they are, what the instruction is going to look like, how they can access it, and then to be able to choose which one best fits their learning needs. So we try to model this in all of our classrooms to the extent that we can to really get the universal design instruction there to give kids voice and choice. And we do that through online technology, our learning software. We have a director of digital learning in our district that allows and works with teachers to do just that. We have an excellent position right now, Mr. Jed Stefanowitz, who is what's his title, Ann, do you remember?
No.
Teacher on special assignment.
Teacher on special assignment, but he is working with every classroom teacher at the elementary level to really help them give voice and choice in the classroom for different things. So it's been fantastic, and so we're really moving up in the world with that, I think.
So we were at perceptible information, tolerance of error, low physical effort, size and space and approach. These could go very deep in their, how you work with louder. I'm sorry. You can go very deep with how much you discuss and work within these 7 principles, but just giving you a brief understanding of it right now.
And just as a final aside, if you want to learn more about UDL, you can access our website. We do have some pieces on UDL on the NAPS website. And if you want to access any of the folks that you met here today, their email addresses are all on our website as well under Student Services. We hope you have a wonderful day, and we look forward to fostering more and more inclusion opportunities in our schools as we move forward. So thank you very much.